Hurricane Irma, no power, blocked roads add to frustrations in Florida. Days after Hurricane Irma tore through Florida and left millions without power, residents are slowly returning to find ruins in some of the hardest-hit neighborhoods. Recovery is only getting started, and some areas remain flooded. Utility companies are working to restore power to the battered Florida Keys as frustrated evacuees emerge from shelters ready to go home. About 2.7 million utility customers are still without power in the state Thursday, officials said. Parts of central and southern Florida will be a sweltering 90 degrees for several days, with humidity making it feel like the mid-90s. Boats are partially submerged in a marina in downtown Miami on September 11, Florida Gov. Rick Scott urged first responders to check health care facilities after 8 patients died at a nursing home with an air conditioning outage 3 days after Irma ravaged the state. As Floridians pick through Irma's ruins, President Donald Trump is traveling to the Thursday to view damage and get updates on recovery efforts from state and local authorities. Relief is days away for those suffering the high temperatures. People on the West Coast, where Hurricane Irma made landfall, will likely have power restored by September 22, according to Florida Power and Light Company. Customers who lost electricity on Florida's eastern side will likely have it restored by the weekend because fewer electrical poles came down than in other parts of the state, the company said. Hurricane Irma's furious march through Florida not only darkened millions of homes, it also flooded roads and piled them with debris, blocking off access to neighborhoods. Massive power outages have crippled other states, including Georgia, where more than 290,000 homes and businesses organizations did not have power Thursday. I didn't think it would be that bad. Jessica Gonzalez is back in her Florida neighborhood of La Belle, but the heat is keeping her outdoors. Her home was damaged by the storm and has no power. She celebrated her 20th birthday this week by waking up in her car with her husband and 2-year-old daughter. They cook outside and sleep in their car. I honestly didn't think it would be that bad. You hear a lot it's Category 5, but you really don't think it's going to hit your house, Gonzalez told CNN's Ed Lavandera, referring to Irma's strength in the Caribbean before the storm set its sights on Florida. With no power and their house caving in, fellow La Belle residents Bob and Tara Hahn have moved their 10 children into their oldest daughter's 2-bedroom house. During the storm, a giant tree crashed into their home, sending whipping rain pouring inside. There are no answers on when the power will be back. Officials told them it'll take weeks, they said. As they wait, they have 17 people living under one roof. There's nothing here. Frustrations grew Wednesday when some residents tried to go home along a 2-lane stretch of highway through the Florida Keys, but were told it's not safe enough to return home. In Big Pine Key, houses were reduced to splinters. Boats were scattered across land, a reminder that streets turned into rivers when the hurricane hit. Richard Tobacco stayed with his family on the island through the storm. They are all okay. A generator is keeping them cool, he said. But he warns people who evacuated to stay away. There's nothing here, he told CNN's Chris Cuomo, who accompanied a search and rescue team on Wednesday. There's no gas, there's no water, there's no stores, there's no electricity, there's no cell phone service. Just stay away for about 2 weeks. Let the first responders do their job, and y'all can come back later, he added. Still, anxious residents wanted to return. At a checkpoint on Lower Macomb Key, sheriff's deputies turned away people trying to get to their homes in the Lower Keys. Instead of going back, many pulled their cars over to the side of the highway, sat and waited. A deputy at the checkpoint said authorities were trying to keep people safe, but some residents said they knew the risks and were willing to accept them. Many wanted to survey the damage, others wanted to prevent looting. Deadly storm. At least 33 storm-related deaths have been reported on the U.S. mainland, according to local officials. They include 26 in Florida, 4 in South Carolina and 3 in Georgia. The total number doesn't include the nursing home deaths, which police said are under investigation. The nursing home deaths Wednesday in Hollywood prompted officials to call for action. Florida has the largest percentage of residents age 65 or older, 19.1%. According to the Pew Research Center. I'm going to aggressively demand answers on how this tragic event took place, The governor said. I am also asking available first responders to immediately check in with the healthcare facilities in their area to make sure nursing homes and assisted living facilities are able to keep their residents safe. Before the hurricane smashed into the U.S. mainland over the weekend, it struck northern Caribbean islands, leaving at least 44 people dead, authorities said. Irma, which stretched 650 miles from east to west, has pummeled at least 9 states, deluging streets, knocking over trees and destroying homes along the way. 8 dead after excessively hot conditions in Florida nursing home. For 3 days, the staff at the rehabilitation center at Hollywood Hills scrambled to keep residents hydrated and cool after a tree fell down onto a transformer that powered the air conditioning system. By Wednesday, 8 of the nursing home's residents had died. 6 died from heat-related issues. The causes of the other 2 deaths are under investigation. The initial investigation has determined that the facility's air conditioning system was not fully functional, the city of Hollywood, Florida, said in a statement. Portable AC units were being used in the facility, but the facility was excessively hot. The nursing home said it was prepped for Hurricane Irma. Our generator was working, and the staff stocked up on 7 days' worth of food and water. But they didn't anticipate they would still have to fight the intense heat with fans and portable air conditioner units. The rehabilitation center Hills expresses its deepest sympathy to the family members of the residents who passed away following a prolonged outage of our air conditioning system due to Hurricane Irma, the nursing home said in a statement. We are devastated by these losses. We are fully cooperating with all authorities and regulators to assess what went wrong and to ensure our other residents are cared for, Florida Gov. Rick Scott ordered an emergency moratorium on Wednesday to prevent the facility from admitting new patients. 3 agencies have launched investigations into how this happened, but many questions remain unanswered. I am going to aggressively demand answers on how this tragic event took place, Scott said in a statement. If they find that this facility was not meeting the state's high standards of care, they will be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. What happened, and when? Families are struggling to understand what happened to their loved ones who died, who ranged in ages from 71 to 99. But here's what we do know, according to Hollywood city officials. 3 a.m. Wednesday. Someone called 911 for a patient suffering cardiac arrest. That patient was taken to Memorial Regional Hospital. 4 a.m. Wednesday, a second 911 call came in to transport another resident with breathing problems. After the second call was completed, the lieutenant notified a battalion chief and called the Department of Children and Families to report concerns about the facility. Shortly thereafter, a third 911 call came in for yet another patient transport, this time prompting the fire department to send more crews to the nursing home to investigate. 1 resident had been taken to a funeral home, 3 others were found dead on the 2nd floor of the nursing home, and several others were in distress. 9:15 a.m. Wednesday, all patients had been evacuated from the nursing home and were being evaluated by paramedics and hospital staff. Paramedics rushed to evacuate the sweltering facility, but 4 more nursing home patients died in hospitals. At least 35 of the evacuated nursing home patients were admitted to Memorial Healthcare System hospitals, spokeswoman Curtin Baldwin said. She said she could not comment on the conditions of those patients. Son of deceased. I'm not quite clear on how this happened. Jeffrey Nova had been calling the nursing home where his mom lived, but he couldn't get anyone to answer the phone since Sunday. Still, that didn't strike him as unusual, he said. Communicating with the staff had always been like pulling teeth. Finally on Wednesday, he learned that his mother, Gail Nova, was one of 8 residents who died at the facility. I'm not quite clear on how this happened, Jeffrey Nova said. He said he learned of his mother's death not from the facility, but from a reporter who got his name and contact info from a nursing home employee. Without air conditioning, residents were kept in hallways near the cooling units as the days passed. In a statement, nursing home administrator Jorge Carballo said, "We are devastated by these losses. We are fully cooperating with all authorities and regulators to assess what went wrong and to ensure our other residents are cared for," Carballo said. questions arise. Authorities are now questioning how the conditions at the nursing home lasted for so long. Carballo said the center immediately contacted Florida Power and Light and continued to follow up with them for status updates on when repairs would be made. City and state officials said they were in contact with the nursing home over the past 3 days and advised them to call 911 if they believed that the health or safety of patients was at risk. When asked if they had any medical needs or emergencies, the nursing home did not request assistance or indicate any medical emergency existed, Hollywood Hills Mayor Barbara Sheriff said in a statement. Richard Beltran, a spokesman for Florida Power and Light, said in a statement, "What we know now is that a portion of the facility did, in fact, have power, that there was a hospital across the parking lot from this facility and that the nursing home was required to have a permanently installed operational generator." The nursing home has a history of safety violations and citations, including 2 for not following generator regulations in 2014 and 2016. In both instances, the nursing home corrected these deficiencies. As power outages persist in Florida, the Hollywood facility is not the only one that has been affected by the storm. The Florida Healthcare Association, which represents 81% of Florida's nursing centers, but not the rehabilitation center at Hollywood Hills, said about 150 facilities out of nearly 700 nursing home facilities in the state do not have full power services restored. The association has said it is working with the state to identify homes without power in greatest need so utility companies can prioritize them. Evacuations at another nursing home. The deaths prompted checks of other nursing homes in the area. Police checked 42 nursing homes and assisted living facilities in Hollywood on Wednesday. Hours later, 79 residents from the Crystal Bay Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in North Miami Beach were evacuated to another facility because of the heat. These South Florida facilities are among hundreds of nursing centers in the state. The Florida Agency for Healthcare Administration, which licenses and regulates such facilities, says there are 683 nursing homes in the state with more than 84,000 beds. In addition, there are more than 3,100 assisted living facilities with more than 99,000 beds.